I'm starting up here on the top of Mustang Pass. There's a four-way intersection. Off to my left here, you look up that gully. Some people call that the old bulldozer route. I'm not sure about that. There's a couple local hikers that like to go up that, which intersects with the Ice House Trail eventually up on top of Broken Mesa. They do that for training for long hikes, the Grand Canyon rim to rim. I actually don't call it the bulldozer route. I call it so-and-so's clandestine trail. But I'm running down the north side of the Mustang Pass trail, and it eventually intersects with the Mill Creek Trail down by a couple of pump houses on the water line that serves the Washington County community. This is a pretty rugged trail, a lot of rocks, volcanic rocks. I guess these are called ejecta. Tremendous volcanism and upheaval in certain parts of the desert Southwest. Lots of different geological theories of what happened here. But from what my understanding, it was probably around 12,000 years ago, the end of the last ice age, where there was major earth changes. There was the simultaneous volcanism, giant cracks in the earth, and warming causing ice dams to break and unleash huge amounts of water. So you had tremendous erosion and canyons formed. I guess that's the latest theory of Hell's Canyon up in Idaho, the Columbia River Gorge, and the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone, that they were all formed about 12,000 years ago at the end of the last ice age. And that theory is one of the theories proposed for the formation of the Grand Canyon, that it wasn't just a slow erosion of the Colorado River, but it was major cataclysms of giant fault lines, splitting of the earth, and huge amount of water being unleashed by, I guess it was Lake Bonneville. There was a book I read way back when I was a teenager in the 1970s called Dweller on Two Planets by Philos the Tibetan. And this book was written back in the, I guess, post-Civil War era, 1800s. And it was the account of a resident of Atlantis and some of his recollections of what took place there. And he said that indeed the Grand Canyon formed fairly quickly at the end of the last ice age. And another source of information, which some people don't put much credence into, but is the concept of remote viewing. And remote viewing is using a intuitive skill to pick up information that is, I guess you would call it non-physical, beyond the limits of time and space. And the remote viewing group, I guess it's called Future Forecasting Group. The person who heads that up is Dick Allgaier, former news anchor down in Hawaii. And they remote viewed the formation, what caused the formation of the Grand Canyon and some of the secrets to the Grand Canyon. It's a fascinating thing. You can find it on YouTube if you do a search for that. Great information and very thought-provoking. So the footing on this trail is pretty darn rough. Very easy to twist an ankle or catch a toe and trip. I'm running in some ancient Hoka ATR, which is, I guess, their trail shoe. Oh, there's a quick wave at another hiker there. And they're a pretty stable shoe, especially as they get old and compressed. They tend to widen out, flatten out, and they may not have a lot of cushion left, but they sure are stable, not prone to twisting an ankle. When they're new, they have kind of a high stack or a high midsole thickness, so it's pretty easy to roll an ankle in them. So I'm filming this with a little flying camera that I've nicknamed Puppy because it follows me around like a little puppy. But this, just like most puppies, it can get easily distracted. And sometimes it'll just lose me, pay attention to something else, and you have to kind of retrieve it. You got to be careful. You don't want to put it on too short a leash or grab it. It'll yelp in protest. But for the most part, it's pretty amazing technology. You can see the shadow of it as it flies next to me there. So we're looking up at the Broken Mesa. On top of the Broken Mesa is the Ice House Trail, and I think there's actually a Broken Mesa Trail. The Broken Mesa Trail, the trailhead for that is out on Cottonwood Road, and there's a upper trailhead for the Ice House Trail, and that's quite a bit farther up Cottonwood Road. Now, Cottonwood Road starts down at an intersection near Mall Drive and Red Cliffs Parkway. And it used to be the route to get up to the old dump. So in some maps, it's called the Old Dump Road. There's a couple of ranches up there. I guess a couple other names are Turkey Ranch Road and Old Dutch Ranch Road. And that road eventually, right at the water tank, which is the beginning of the Middleton Power Line Trail. It turns into a gravel road, and it goes all the way up to Leeds and connects with the road that goes up to the I guess it's the Oak Creek Campground at the base of the Pine Valley Mountains. So this north section of the Mustang Pass Trail has a few switchbacks as it drops down to Mill Creek. As it gets closer to Mill Creek, it gets sandier. What's nice about this time of year, it's cooler, and we've had a lot of rain recently, so you can see the desert is starting to green up. Grass is growing, little yellow flowers are growing. And unfortunately, you also get some of the invasive alien species, puncture vine, and certain varieties of tumbleweed. And then they get pretty prolific and they grow very fast, and they're kind of nasty. They scratch you and shed these little goat head seeds that cause havoc to biker. Pretty easy to get punctures. Now I checked my watch because my little flying camera, Puppy, only has about 10 minutes.